This is the Your Money Hour podcast. I am your host, Dakota Grady. Welcome to the show, everybody. Whether you're listening online in California, South Africa, thank you for listening. Ireland, Germany. I want to shout you all out. Right now, the podcast is being listened to in 8 countries. So thank you all for listening and tuning in. So I am Dakota Grady, your host. So if you need help with personal finances, my new book, Broke: Secrets to Fix America's Financial Crisis, is available online at Amazon.com. Get your copy and get your team a copy if you have a business, or your family and friends a copy as well. And if you need help with your accounting and taxes for your business, I can help you as well. For personal finances, it's dakotagrady.com. And for accounting and taxes, I am also the accounting and tax doctor. And my website is theatdoc.com. That's theatdoc.com. So today I have a guest on the show. I'm excited because she's my cousin, and she's not only my cousin, she's a doctor of chiropractic. So without further ado, my cousin is Dr. Renae Sanders. Renae, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Dakota.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So tell everybody about who you are and what you do.
Okay, so like Dakota said, my name is Dr. Renae Sanders, and I am a chiropractor. I've been a chiropractor. Well, I finished chiropractic school in 2020, and then I finished my boards to practice chiropractic in 2021. And so currently, I'm actually in my suite that I practice in Taylor's, South Carolina, which is right outside of Greenville. So I'm serving the Greenville County area. I am originally from Calhoun Falls, South Carolina, which is a small town, but that's a town that I'm very proud of, and because it made me the person that I am today. From Calhoun Falls, South Carolina, but I moved to Greenville in the 5th and 6th grade. Then we went back to Calhoun Falls, then came back to Greenville for high school. So I went to Hillcrest High School in Simpsonville, and after I left Hillcrest, I went to Winthrop in Rock Hill, South Carolina. And I guess some of the other things about me we'll kind of talk about throughout the time that we talk today.
Cool. So talk about Calhoun Falls, because that's where your grandmother, who was my great aunt, Aunt Melvine, she was a Bowie, and she got married to, I guess, your grandfather. Oh, right.
She is that's my dad's mom.
Right. So Renae is my cousin on both sides of the family. My mom's side, well, actually her mom's side and her dad's side of the family. So we won't get out to all the details, but tell everybody about growing up in Calhoun Falls. Like, what inspired you to go from Calhoun Falls to wanting to be a doctor?
Calhoun Falls, like I said, it's a very small town. Everybody knows everybody, and everybody's probably related in some kind of way. But like I said, I feel like Calhoun Falls really instilled a lot of the values and morals that I have. As a little girl, I can always remember being around my great grandmother a lot, and just spending time with her when I was younger, and then also as I became older, she became like my best friend. So I would always ask her stories about our family and everything, because I'm very interested in learning about the history from our family. But Calhoun Falls, I just really enjoyed spending time with my family, playing with my cousins and everything, because I was young living in Calhoun Falls. And like I say, just even going back today, I can go and I'm like, oh, I know this person, or I remember this person from when I was younger. And then a lot of the kids now, like, I don't even recognize who they are, but I probably know their parents. So it's just a very small community, but everybody is really close and knows each other. And when they say it takes a village to raise a child, that's truly what Calhoun Falls was when I lived there when I was younger.
Wow, interesting. So, I mean, like, Greenville it's bigger than Calhoun Falls, but I mean, I guess it depends on the mentality of the person, because for me, I moved away for 8 years to a bigger city, Oklahoma City, and then moved to Tennessee, which I saw the Nashville area. So I guess it depends on the feeling. I mean, what you get. I mean, I am family oriented too, and people know me in Greenville, but you probably had a more intimate feeling or relationship with people who you knew in Calhoun Falls because it was a smaller community. Would you say so?
Mm-hmm. Yes. I do think, like you said, more intimate with it being a smaller community, because after we left Calhoun Falls and I came to Greenville, it was like a totally different world because you go from this small, like I don't remember how many people like were in my class, but I think after I left, in like the class that I would have been in if I graduated from Calhoun Falls High School, I think they may have had like 40 something people in that class. Like me graduating from Hillcrest, I had like over 400 people in my graduating class. So it was like a huge difference. I had to learn, make new friends and do all of those things. But I really had a good experience at Hillcrest, and it really opened up a lot of doors and opportunities for me to explore some of the things that I wasn't able to explore in Calhoun Falls, just because, there's limited resources. But like I said, the values and morals and everything that I got from Calhoun Falls, that's like what I really hold dear for me. But Hillcrest really gave me the resources to be able to take off and, explore the different professions and careers and make my decision on what I wanted to do.
So talk about the process of going from not knowing what you want to do to becoming a doctor, and tell people about your journey as well, please.
Okay. So my mom is a nurse. I have 2 cousins that are nurses. Like I have a family full of nurses. And so, of course, they didn't push me to do nursing, but they kind of pushed me to do something healthcare related. And so I started, like I said, when I went to Hillcrest, I started researching different healthcare professions. And then I got involved with an organization called AHEC. And AHEC is a program that they let you explore different college careers. I think I did like a summer program at MUSC and just different workshops here in Greenville. And that, like I say, just exposed me to different careers. So when I was in that program, I decided on dentistry. So that's actually what I started out doing is, working towards dentistry or becoming a dentist. And so after I went to Winthrop, while I was at Winthrop, I majored in biology, and I was preparing to take the to take the test that you need to take to go to dental school, and like preparing my application and everything. And so I thought, this is after I graduated from Winthrop, I was like, well, I need to work on really building my application for dental school. So I was like, well, let me go, and people call me a professional student, but I was like, well, let me go to school and do dental. I did a certificate in dental assistant at UNC Chapel Hill. So I did that so I could work in a dental office. And like I said, continue to build my dental application. So as I was working in the dental office, I started having back problems. And then that's how I was exposed to a chiropractor. And I started asking the chiropractor that I went to more questions about chiropractic, because I had never been to the chiropractor before, or never really even heard much about the profession. So as I was asking her questions, I asked her questions about, her profession, but then also her business. And then I also went to tour Sherman College, which is in Spartanburg, and that's the school that I attended. And I really enjoyed my experience at Sherman because everybody was just so welcoming. And I also like the natural and holistic approach to chiropractic. And just doing my research from that and just weighing out the pros and cons for both dental and chiropractic, I decided to switch career paths, and that's how I ended up in chiropractic.
So you went to the chiropractor for pain, and then you got, I guess, what's the word, bamboozled? you became interested in the field, and then you pursued it. Wow. So yeah. How long would it take you from getting your bachelor's until you got your doctorate?
Let's see. So after I got my bachelor's, I think I maybe took a year off before I went to Chapel Hill and did that program. And then after that program, I think I worked about 2 years before going to chiropractic school. So it was like a couple of years between having my bachelor's and getting my doctorate.
Wow. So is it still like 4 years for your doctorate? Can you go from bachelor to a doctorate?
I did. My program was about 3.5 years. Some programs are 4, but mine was 3.5. So I did that program. And then of course the 4 for undergrad.
All right. So about 7 years then. Almost 8 years. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Is it worth it?
That's a good question. So I think that, it is worth it. Some of the things that you have to go through to get to that point will make you question, like, is this worth it? But I think that once you reach, and I don't want to say reach the finish line because it's still work to be done after graduating. But I would say yes, because, for me, I feel like me being a doctor is more like not for myself, but for other people. For me, it's being someone that people from my hometown can look at and say, oh, that's possible. And so I feel like it's not, I don't want to say not worth it for me, but I feel like it's worth it because I get to help other people see that this is possible if that's something that they do want to do. I do enjoy practicing chiropractic, but like I said, the most important part for me is being able to inspire other people and show them the possibilities that are available to them.
So talk about being a young African-American woman in the field of chiropractic, because I'm sure there aren't many African-American women in your field. So talk about that.
So yes, I can say going through chiropractic school, I was the only African-American female in my class. And let's see, I had an African-American male that was in my class, but like I said, I was the only African-American female. And honestly, it had been that way in a lot of my classes leading up to coming to chiropractic school, because I was always in my honors classes. And it's something that I kind of, like, I knew that it was a good thing, but then it's kind of like, well, I kind of felt like an outsider sometimes too, with being the only Black female in a lot of my classes. But as a chiropractor, the same, because the field is predominantly white males that practice chiropractic. And so there are other African-American females that are chiropractors, and I enjoy meeting them because, like I said, there's not very many of us, but it is great to be able to see that there are more women and African-American females that are coming into the profession, because that way we can, serve people within the community and be able to relate to other Black African-American female. Well, I said Black African-American, but African-American females.
So talk about chiropractic in terms of like, does the African-American community really know about chiropractic work? And if so, are we using it like we need to or not?
I would say probably the majority don't really know about chiropractic. And I would say if we do know about chiropractic, it's probably because, okay, I've been in a car accident or I have back problems, but that's not the only thing that chiropractic is. You can also utilize chiropractic for wellness care, which is what a lot of people are missing out on. Just because you haven't been in a car accident or you're not currently experiencing back pain, it doesn't mean that you don't need to see a chiropractor or you can't see a chiropractor. So that is one, I think, misconception for people that do know about chiropractic or have heard about chiropractic. I will say that I feel like more people are starting to realize that chiropractic exists. But like I said, just for me, educating people on what it is very important.
All right. So yeah, on that note, can you explain what chiropractic is and maybe 2 or 3 benefits that people can benefit from?
Yes. So chiropractic is, we utilize adjustments or using our hands to adjust your spine. So, and I have a model over there, but I'm not going to get it. But within your spine, you have the spinal cord, spinal nerves, and your skull, which protects your brain. And so your spine, your nervous system is very important because it controls the functioning in your body. So with those bones, those are protecting those nerves, the spinal cord and the brain. And so what we do is we'll examine the patient and see what's going on as far as muscle related, motion within the spine. Also some other things that we look at, and we see exactly where you need to be adjusted. And then we correct that. By correcting that, your nerves are able, the nerve flow within the body is able to communicate with the rest of your body, your cells, tissues, and organs. And so that's why, like I say, it's very important for you to get checked by a chiropractor, because I know there's a lot of TikTok videos and stuff where people are like just adjusting each other, and that's not necessarily a good thing, because you could be moving the wrong bone within your spine. And so I like to tell people that all the time, because they're like, oh, I just pop my own neck, or I do this and I do that. But I'm like, you need to see a professional, because it's not like we're just adjusting random things. We're actually, utilizing exams to see what's going on, examining the body to see what's going on.
I ain't cracking my own bones.
And then also another key about chiropractic to know is that we really focus on your body's ability to heal itself. And so that's why I say the natural and holistic approach to health is what chiropractic is all about.
So in your opinion, how often should somebody see a chiropractor if they are healthy, with no accidents, no back injuries? Like, how often do you think someone should see a chiropractor?
I would really say it depends on the person, because depending on what you're doing every day, it's going to play a huge factor in that. So on a wellness aspect, I would say, like I said, depending on the patient, it could be once a week or once a month, I would say, for a wellness patient. All
right. So we have about 7 minutes. So do you have any nuggets that you could leave the audience with? 2, 3, 1? You have the floor, ma'am.
Any nuggets, like just in life, or like
life, business, school? You had the floor. I mean, what's some things you can live with the audience from your experience, from a small town girl to the big city? Okay, you now live in, I guess, 2 places. You're in Greenville, which is a large city in California, but you also live in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is a big city as well. So, I mean, just anything, any experiences. I know we talked about this off the air last week in terms of basically we talked about different things, but for someone who doesn't know what they want to do with their life in terms of a career, what kind of guidance can you give him or her?
I would say really, for me, I would say just writing down like things that you like to do, just like enjoy doing naturally. And also asking other people, like, what do you think I'm good at? Or, getting feedback or advice from other people in what they see that you're good at. And looking at that list and doing more research on, like, okay, well, this career might match with this. Just literally doing research and seeing what's out there. And then after that, going to find somebody that's actually doing what it is that you want to do. Ask them, like I asked the chiropractor, ask them to shadow, or, ask them more questions about the profession. And just, like I said, doing research, talking to someone that's already in the field. And then that way that can help you, like, at least start somewhere, because you can start somewhere and end up somewhere totally different. And example me.
That's good advice, I think. So how can people find out about you and your business? And I guess shout out to business. And
I did want to say, I know you said nuggets, but when you said that, this one thing just popped in my head that I do tell a lot of younger people is do what is best for you. Because I know that in our society, I feel like, we pressure kids to go to school, go to college, whatever, get a good job, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like you should do what it is that you want to do, because there's so many different things like and resources available nowadays. And I don't really like that aspect of like telling a kid, hey, go to college, because that's not what everybody wants to do, or not necessarily what they would be good at. They may have something else. They could be an entrepreneur as well and, be successful and well off. So just really finding out what it is that you love and not feeling like standing on that and being yourself and not allowing other people to persuade you to do otherwise, unless, it's something like major and somebody's trying to tell you something that's going to be helpful for you. But if it's like, okay, you need to be a doctor, you need to be a lawyer, like if that's not what you want to do, don't do it.
Cool. Yeah, I agree. I mean, get advice, but ultimately the decision is up to you, right?
Yes. And I also, for me, I would say timing is everything as well. Because it's been a long journey to get to this point. And so sometimes it can be a little, little challenging trying to get through those times, because, not only are you in school and like in these classes and things, but for me, I feel like I don't want to say miss out, because I tried to make time for things that, that were happening along the way while I was in school, but I also had to make sacrifices. But, you try to spend as much time with your loved ones, with your family and everything, and just stay the course, because there's, like I say, so many challenges and sacrifices on the journey. And it's just very important to remember that everything that you want to happen will happen in its own time, and then just try to be patient and not rush things and just enjoy the journey.
That's for me too, because I want stuff to happen on my time, but things that will last for that will actually last take time to create and grow. So how can we find out about you online, Miss Sanders, Dr. Sanders?
So I have a Instagram that's Dr. Nae, Nae Aligns, and that's on Instagram. But on Facebook, I am Nae Sanders. That's Facebook, but I prefer Instagram. But that's where you can find me.
Awesome. Well, Dr. Renae Sanders, thank you for your time, and we'll talk off the air, cousin.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for listening to the Your 1 Hour podcast. Again, our website is dakotagrady.com. Check out the resources for personal finances.